So this activity is from Chapter 3, which is the packet tracer activity that is entitled as the Investigating the TCP and IP and OSI Models in Action. So objectives. Part 1, examine HTTP web traffic, and then part 2 is display elements of the TCP and IP protocol suite. So the background is this simulation activity is intended to provide the foundation for understanding the TCP and IP protocol suite and the relationship to the OSI model. Simulation mode allows you to view the data contents being sent across the network at each layer. As data moves through the network, it is broken down into smaller pieces and identified so that the pieces can be put back together when they arrive at the destination. So each piece is assigned a specific name, protocol data unit, and associated with a specific layer of the TCP and IP and the OSI model. So packet tracer simulation mode enables you to view each of the layers and associated PDU. The following steps lead the user through the process of requesting a web page from a web server by using the web browser application available on a client PC. Even though much of the information displayed will be discussed in more detail later. So this is an opportunity to explore the functionality of Packet Tracer and be able to visualize the encapsulation process. So let's start. The part 1 of this activity is to examine HTTP web traffic. In part 1 of this activity, you will use the Packet Tracer simulation mode to generate web traffic and examine HTTP. So the simulation mode here is this. So, step 1, switch from real time to simulation mode. So, this is the real time, and to switch to simulation mode. So, now we're in simulation mode. So, in the lower right corner of the Packet Tracer interface are tabs to toggle between the real time simulation mode. So, we already switched it. So PD always starts in real-time mode, in which networking protocols operate with realistic timing. So, however, a powerful feature of Packet Tracer allows the user to stop time by switching to simulation mode. In simulation mode, packets are displayed as animated envelopes. Time is event-driven, and the user can step through networking events. So, click the simulation mode icon to switch from real-time mode to simulation mode. Select H. So, click the simulation mode. So, I already click it. The next is select HTTP from the event list filters. So, HTTP may already be the only visible event. Click Edit Filters to display the available visible events. Toggle the Show All None checkbox and notice how the checkboxes switch from unchecked to checked or checked to unchecked depending on the current state. So the we will click the event list filter. So this is the event list filters and the next is click edit filters. So the display or the it all has checks. So next is toggle the show all none check. So show all none check. And then from unchecked to check or check to uncheck. So well we when it is a show all none it's look like this. But when it is in all check, so when it is all checked, it's look like this. So that's when it's show all none, so it look like this. So click the until all boxes are clicked and then select HTTP. So click anywhere outside of the edit filters box to hide it. Then So click the show all none checkbox until all boxes are cleared. So we already did it. So click anywhere outside the edit filters to hide it. So the visible event should now only display HTTP. So step 2 is generate web HTTP traffic. So currently the simulation panel is empty. So next is the web server and web client are displayed in the left pane. So the panels can be adjusted in size by hovering next to the scroll bar and dragging left or right when a double-headed arrow appears. So now, as you can see, the simulation panel, it is the simulation panel, so it is empty. So next is from A. So step 2A. Click web client. Click web client in the far left pane. So the web the web client is. So I already clicked it, and then in step 2 we click the desktop tab and click the web browser icon to open it. So click the desktop and then click the web browser. So the web browser is. The next is web browser icon to open it. So we're now here on the web browser. So in the URL field, enter the www.osi.local and then go. Because time in simulation mode is event driven, you must use the capture forward button to display network events. So click capture forward 4 times. There should be 4 events in the event list. So capture forward 1, 2, 3, 4. So we click it 4 times. So look at the web client web browser page. Did anything change? So the web client it said it display it from after I click the capture forward 4 times. So the web server displayed it. So you have successfully accessed the homepage for the web server. So step 3. Explore the contents of the HTTP packet. Click the first colored square box under the event list. So the event list. So now event list. So why? So next, explore the contents of the HTTP packet. Click the first colored square box under the event list and then info column. So it is the event list and then info column. So this is the info column, and then it may be necessary to expand the simulation panel or use the scroll bar directly below the event list. So the PDU information at device, web client window displays. In this window, there are only 2 tabs on OSI model and the outbound PDU details. So because this is the start of the transmission, as more events are examined, there will be 3 tabs displayed, adding a tab for inbound PDU details. So when an event is the last event in the stream of traffic, only the OSI model and inbound PDU details tabs are displayed. So this is the first column, and this is the first colored square box under the event list info column. So next, ensure that the OSI model tab is selected. Under the outlayers column, ensure that the layer 7 box is highlighted. So as I click the first colored square box under the event list, and it displays. So the OSI model, the tab is selected. So it is selected, and then under the outlayers, the outlayers column, ensure that the layer 7 box is highlighted. So this is the layer 7. It is highlighted as the color cream or yellow, uh, and it has the label as DNS. What is the text displayed next to the layer 7 label? So it displays the layer 7 as the DNS. So what information is listed in the numbered steps directly below the in layers and out layers? So the DNS client sends a DNS query to the DNS server. So next, click next layer, layer 4. So this is the layer 4. Layer 4 should be highlighted. So what is the DST port value? So the DST port value is layer 4 UDP SRC port 1025, and the DST port is the 53. So next, click the next layer. Layer 3 should be highlighted. What is the DES IP value? So the DES IP value is 192.168.1.254. So next, click next layer. What information is displayed at this layer? So click next layer. What information is displayed at this layer? So layer 2. The next hop IP address is a unicast. The ARP process looks it up in the ARP table. The next hop IP address is not in the ARP table. The ARP process tries to send an ARP request for that IP address and buffers this packet. So next, click the outbound PDU details tab. So the outbound PDU details tab it looks like this. So this is the PDU details. So information listed under the PDU details is reflective of the layers within the TCP or IP model. So next, note the information listed under the Ethernet 2 section provides even more detailed information than is listed under the Layer 2 on the OSI model tab. The outbound PDU details provides more descriptive and detailed information. The values under DES MAC and SRC MAC within the Ethernet 2 section of the PDU details appear on the OSI model tab under Layer 2 but are not identified as such. So what is the common information listed under the IP section of PDU details as compared to the information listed under the OSI model tab? With which layer it associated? So what is the common information listed under this IP section of PDU? So it's common listed here at the IP of PDU is at PDU details, or this the IDs. So next, click the next colored square box under the event list. So this is the second colored box from the event list. So after clicking it, it displays. So next is only layer 1 is active, not grayed out. The device is moving the frame from the buffer and placing it onto the network. So advance to the next HTTP info box within the event list and click the colored square box. This window contains both in layers and the out layers. Notice the direction of the arrow directly under the in layers column. It is pointing upward, indicating the direction the information is traveling. Scroll through these layers, making note of the items previously viewed. At the top of the column, the arrow points to the right. This denotes that the server is now sending the information back to the client. Comparing the information displayed in the in layers column with that of the out layers column, what are the major differences? So click the outbound. So the outbound video details tab. So it is the outbound video details of the second colored square box. So from the HTTP, to next, click the last colored square box under. Click the outbound video. So click the last colored square box under the info column. How many tabs are displayed? So this is the color box. So how many tabs are displayed with this event and how? So it only one tab. It displays which is the OSI model and the inbound PDU details. In inbound PDU details, it has the Ethernet 2 and the TCP. So part 2. So the part 2 of this activity is display elements of the TCP and IP protocol suite. Step 1. View additional events. Close any open PDU information windows. And then next is in the event list filters, visible events section, click show all. So in event list filters, so it is the event list. So next, visible event section, and then click show all. So it is show all. And then what additional event types are displayed? So these extra entries play various roles within the TCP or IP. So if the address resolution protocol or the ARP is listed, it searches MAC addresses. DNS is responsible for converting a name. For example, is www.osi.local to an IP address. The additional TCP events are responsible for connecting, agreeing on communication parameters, and disconnecting the communication sessions between the devices. These protocols have been mentioned previously and will be further discussed as the course progresses. So currently, there are over 35 possible protocols or event types available for capture within the packet tracer. So click the first DNS event in the info column, explore the OSI model and PDU detail tabs, and note the encapsulation process. So this is the info column. And then explore the OSI model and PD detail tabs and note the encapsulation process. As you look at the OSI model tab with layer 7 highlighted, so this is PDU details. Tab with layer 7 highlighted, the description of what is occurring is listed directly below the in layers and out layers. So next is click the outbound PDU details tab. What information is listed in the name in the DNS query section? So this is the outbound PDU details. So the DNS query section is DNS query. This is the DNS query section. So the name that is listed on the DNS query is the www.osi.local. So it's same. What is the value listed next to the address in the DNS answer section of the inbound layers? So the inbound is here. So the inbound PDU details is the inbound PDU details. So Click the last DNS info colored square box in the event list. Which device is displayed? What is the value listed next to address in the disk? So it is already loaded. So next, find the first HTTP event. So click the first DNS event in the info column, explore the OSI model. So we're done here. So click the last TCP event, highlight layer 4 in the OSI model tab. Examine the steps listed directly below in layers and out layers. What is the purpose of this step? Based on the information provided in the last item in the list. So this is the in layers and the out layers at the last list listed here. So the OSI model, so it has the in layers. It highlighted the layer 1, the layer 2, the layer 3, and the layer 4. In out layer, so it don't have show any. So that's